After a reported $10 billion loss, could the Warner Brothers Discovery and AEW negotiations be in jeopardy?
And before we review this latest episode of AEW Dynamite, first up, we got a brand new match announced for AEW All In London and a big old head-to-head combat clash between WWE and AEW. All that more in this week's episode of Grapple-Sauce. Hit it, Dave.
Hey, everybody out there, Daver here, and welcome to the show.
And Chandler's back as well. How we doing, Dave?
We're doing pretty good. We're doing the old two-man booth right now. Chad had to, there was a little bit of flight delay. He was coming back from Japan with him competing in the G1. Which also affected a little bit of the AEW talent trying to get to North Carolina. So, big debacle with the airlines. Weird.
Hey, MJF drove 10 and a half hours to make it, so he's the best ever, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, he may have punched a wall, but man, he's dedicated.
I was going to make a punch the wall joke later. Dang it. I'll still do it.
But man, speaking of two-man booths, who's your favorite two-man commentary?
Of all time? Okay. You know, I quite like Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness on Collision. Like, I'm gonna be real, that's like the only reason to watch Collision is those two on commentary are pretty good. But that's really recent. I haven't really watched that many two-man booths, and quite frankly, I'm not the biggest fan of two-man booths. But I think a popular answer that someone might have would be someone like Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. But I find Pat McAfee really annoying, so I wouldn't say that. I liked Michael Cole and Wade Barrett together, which was also pretty recent, but that wasn't for a while. But I liked them. I thought they had good chemistry. And I actually have seen WrestleMania X7, controversially regarded as one of the greatest pay-per-views ever put on in wrestling history. I have seen it. And JR and Paul Heyman are pretty good together. So that's an easy win. But I would probably say, personally, Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness, or I really like Michael Cole and Wade Barrett.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that combo, honestly. I'll have to check that out. But I don't know if I don't know if they've ever actually just been the two of them, but I really like Tony Schiavone and Dusty Rhodes together
Really?
on the old WCW pay-per-views. Gosh, they're back and forth. Unbelievable. I mean, but I'd say there's usually three of them. Like either Bobby the Brain was there or Mike Tenay. Um, I don't really like the later WCW commentary. They had like Stevie Ray for a little bit, Mark Madden, uh,
Scott Hudson? How do you feel about
Scott
Scott
Hudson.
Hudson?
Didn't really like him. He wasn't it didn't give me my nostalgia. But yeah, dude, Dusty Rhodes on commentary for all the big pay-per-views in WCW really did it for me. Really good. But yeah, a little bit of news. How you feel about talking about a little bit of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, apparently Warner Brothers Discovery uh has a 10 billion, billion, not million, $10 billion loss. Uh, yikes. And apparently they're uh realizing that it's the television networks that are uh not making money well as much as they initially thought. Uh, yeah, this is second quarter 2024. Man, that's pretty big. And a lot of people are speculating, could that jeopardize the AEW Warner Brothers negotiations? Which yeah, that period has actually ended. and no one knows if they've signed a deal or not. Um,
It totally could. I would be pretty disheartened if they left TBS and TNT. I mean, first of all, they have the TNT and TBS champions, so they'd have to change those. I would just be so cringy if it was like the Destination America champion and the Spike champion. It'd be like, just change them. But like when you call them the TNT TBS champions, I don't know. It kind of feels like a little bit more regal. It's not better than the world champ, but it just feels neat. Like for lack of a better term, it just feels neat. And then they obviously in the promo Swerve cut tonight, not tonight, but on Dynamite, he even brought up we have three big champions of TBS and TNT history. You got Ricky Steamboat, Jeff Jarrett, and me. But again, like AEW really likes to promote that they're on TNT and TBS because it's what WCW was on. And so they want to honor that lineage. So it would feel weird if they weren't. And I can't imagine another. I mean, they can go to any channel, they can go to any streaming service they want, but I don't really know what they do. Would they go to Disney Plus? Would it be the Disney Plus title? Would it be the Hulu title? Who knows?
the Mickey Mouse title.
Oh, that would get me. I'd subscribe. You'd have all my money. But
Yep.
it's interesting to say the least. Maybe AEW just gets a little less money if they resign, and if Tony Khan is looking at WWE and is going, "Wow, they're making so much from all their deals. I want some of that." Like he shouldn't be thinking like that because they're just different, right? AEW's not there yet. They can be, but they're not there yet. So hopefully they can sign something good.
Yeah. According to essentiallysports.com, until now, All Elite Wrestling did not have permission to talk to other companies because of an exclusive negotiation period that Warner Brothers had. However, that is no longer the case. And according to Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful Select, the exclusive negotiation window with AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery has ended this week. The two sides continue to talk in recent days, but it is unknown if the deal has been reached. Importantly, Tony Khan will meet with WBD CEO David Zasloff this weekend in Paris, which I believe already happened. It would be interesting to see if this information causes Tony Khan to change his mind and look for a different platform. Um, yeah, like it could be a good thing.
It
Like,
could be.
could be a good thing. I mean, I don't want them to move networks. Again, that would be changing two belts, getting making sure your viewers are following you to a new network, a new time. Uh, Shoot, it could be like a streaming platform that not everyone has access to. So it could be
Again,
good, it can be bad.
they really hype up like when Sting was around. Sting was a champion of TBS from TNT for years, right? So like you you have that free marketing in that you don't have to show the matches because you don't own the rights to them, but you could just say, "Look at this guy. He's been around for years. He was around in the olden days." So it
Mhm.
would be a shame to lose that. But on the positive side, look at Raw going to Netflix. A lot of people might have been a little unhappy about that at first, but now that there's reports of them not really caring about censorship anymore, a lot of people are speculating, like, holy crap, are they going to go crazy? Are they going to have blood again? Are they going to start swearing? Like, Raw really could become a captivating show if they really go all out. I mean, maybe they won't, but people are at least excited about it. So
Are
who
they going to
knows?
show boobies?
Whoa, whoa. Being that they'll probably still be in front of live crowds, and being that kids will be in those crowds, probably not. And I think they
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
little bit more respect for their female performers, but you never know. Maybe it's like a if you want to, you can.
Yeah, Vince is gone. So he would probably take full advantage of that.
Yeah, he would.
Ay, ay, ay.
Um, anything else you want to talk about in regards to the Warner Brother deal?
No, just very interesting. I feel like in my gut that they've already come to an agreement, but man, I feel like they would have announced it though. So
Yeah. The issue is also cable is dying. You know, maybe it's not $10 billion in loss of revenue dying, but it is dying. So that should account for some of that. So, and I hate to say this because it's not what I want, but maybe they should get creative and figure out a way to get people back to cable. But how do you do that besides, putting on good shows and spreading it through word of mouth? Even then, people are just going to wait for it to be on a streaming service. So, I
yeah.
don't know. Like I honestly don't think I'll ever have cable in my entire life because it just doesn't seem worth it because of how expensive it is. When I mean, look at how I watch AEW, right? It maybe costs me like $15 a month, and that's really stretching it just because I bought NordVPN and it was like $90 for 2 years or something like that. So it's like, why would I do that when the only thing I watch on live TV is AEW, and I can watch
Hmm.
it like almost immediately after the episode's done, with no ads.
Yeah. You don't get to watch it live?
I've never tried, to be honest, because I always seem to be busy right when Dynamite or Collision's on. But I probably could. I just have never tried.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, interesting to see what happens. I mean, they don't have a whole lot of time,
Yeah,
so
but we did get a big match announced for AEW All In. It's another Casino Gauntlet. Wait, Casino Royale Gauntlet match? Is that what they call it?
yeah, something like that.
I'll just go to it's just a Casino Gauntlet match for a world title shot. I mean, that's pretty cool, and it could be how they get all the people that we've been speculating, like, where's Takeshita gonna be? Where's this person gonna be? That'd be a real easy way to be like, well, there they are. There they are. I was looking at their all in poster, right? There's a lot of people on this poster that really don't have matches right now. Like, you got Jay White, who's injured. You got Samoa Joe, who's kayfabe injured. You got John Moxley. The Young Bucks and Okada all don't have matches, but it's almost certain they will. So it's just kind of interesting how many people they have advertised for the event that still don't really have matches. I mean, I kind of just assumed with isn't Samoa Joe doing filming for the heavy metal show and that's why he's gone? I would
Twisted
love to
Metal.
have Oh yeah, I would love to have Samoa Joe on the show. But I kind of just wrote him off because I was like, "Oh, he's busy. He's filming shit." But I would love it if he was there. I love Samoa Joe. And a lot of people
Yeah.
are speculating we're going to get some Ricochet perhaps. You mentioned a Bobby Lashley maybe. That'd be cool.
Hmm. Man, I don't know. It's got to be too soon for Adam Copeland, right?
Yeah, you know who I was thinking though? Adam Cole, baby,
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably time.
because
Yep.
that was Double or Nothing where MJF beat him up, and a lot of people were like, "Well, MJF is back, but Adam Cole isn't, so this is a way to put a pin in that feud for now, and that'd be a really good return for Adam Cole. So why not?" Any other supposed like we'll probably get a New Japan guy. I don't know who. We'll
CMLL.
Sarah would be neat, something like that.
Yep.
Speaking of New Japan, apparently Takeshita just had the greatest match of all time. Did you hear about this?
No.
I don't even know if it's that, but like it changed Dave Meltzer's opinion on WWE, and it's just funny to me. So it was Takeshita versus El Fantasmo in the
Ooh.
G1, which I saw a couple clips of it, and afterwards I will be finding that match and I will be watching it no matter what. But I think he said something like, I overrate WWE so much compared, like, they don't wrestle like these guys. And I'm like, come on, Dave. It's like, you can't be like that. Takeshita and Phantasmo aren't even in the same company. And this is a super, like, it would be like looking at the C2 and being like, wow, I can't believe WWE isn't doing something like this. Which, yeah, you could be like that. They could be doing something like this, but chill the fuck out, man. Chill the fuck. Like, I don't like Dave Meltzer. I'm as I get older, I like Dave Meltzer less and less. And so
Yeah.
when Chris Jericho mentioned it on commentary, I cringed. Did you hear that? Hi
Yeah.
guys, I got 4 stars from Dave Meltzer on my match with Suzuki. Hi guys. Oh, I died inside.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really listen to much of what he has to say. I like Brian Alvarez's opinion of
Yeah,
things way more. And Vinny, I like him.
Bryan
But yeah,
Alvarez seems way more like level-headed, and he's
yeah.
not huffing Will Ospreay's ass fumes every day. Because he'll be like, "Oh, that was a really good Will Ospreay match," and Dave Meltzer will be like, "This was like the greatest American wrestling match of all time. There's never been a better match than this, and except for the next Ospreay match that he wrestles on the next show." So yeah,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, he was super in love with Osprey. But I love how Takeshita made him like rethink his whole
yeah. I'm like, people are finally understanding what I've been saying for months now. Where like Takeshita's great, and he always get booed because he's a heel, and then he just starts wrestling, and people are like, "Oh no, he's great! I'm gonna cheer for him too." And I saw someone quote the TNT title ladder match. You know what? Was it Forbidden Door? And people were like, "Nah, it was then too," because people really wanted Takeshita to win that. And then Briscoe hit him with a chair, and the crowd died. So I'm
Yep.
like, why don't you capitalize on that, Mr. Tony Khan? Please?
Yeah.
Please? Like, when I say, like, oh, who should take the TNT title off of Jack Perry? Like, I'm disinterested. I'm kind of at this point, like, oh, whatever, just make Darby Allin do it because I don't care. Right? And that's not a good mindset. But, like, I'll say Takeshita, and I think it's a joke, but, like, I think a lot of people would say that now. They're coming our way, Dave. They're coming our way.
Dude, Takeshita is something special. Like Tony Khan better give him everything he wants, dude, because WWE will snatch him up.
I don't even know if it's WWE. I mean, I would hope so. And you just say, "All right, you're Gunther too now." Um, but I don't know because he said something about like, didn't he say in an interview a couple months ago that American wrestling makes he just feels bored?
Yeah.
And I get it because it's not like A, he's never really on TV, and B, like he does get to shine, but apparently not as much as in this G1 right now. So maybe Tony Khan was like, "All right, I'm going to shut you up and pacify you. Go do the G1."
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
hopefully he goes. I mean, I'd love it if he wins the G1, but I want him back on the show that I watch. So he comes back super motivated and, you know, wrecks shit. That's all I can say is I want Takeshita to wreck shit.
Um, Speaking of people who are injured that could be back for the Battle Royal, Will Hobbs?
I didn't even think about him. Maybe because he got injured in that. Was it the Osprey match or the Moxley
It was
match?
Moxley match. His
Well, we could see
knee.
Moxley come back too.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I guarantee we'll see Moxley in that match because I mean we're still like he doesn't even have to be announced, and we're still like 3 weeks out from that. So he could get 3 weeks more of vacation and then get a big pop and get a big payday. So
yeah. Yeah. Good
well,
stuff.
moving on to our perhaps last bit of news, we have WWE NXT or NXT and AEW face off coming down the docket. It is October 8th. I can't remember why. It's like the NBA something MLB. I don't know. TNT and TBS show sports a lot. I'm not gonna pretend to know why they're not having it on Wednesday that week, but they're having AEW on Tuesday. It is quote unquote Title Tuesday, which first off, I think it's very interesting that Bryan Danielson is advertised for that show. But
Oh,
it's
wow.
taking it's taking place in Spokane. I don't think
Well,
they've
that's
announced
why.
yeah. They haven't announced anything. I'm just going off of the picture. They have Swerve and Danielson and Darby all in it. And then like Monet and MJF and Osprey and Willow and Chris. And then you look at WWE NXT, you got the typical subsects. You got Ethan Page, Roxanne Perez, Trick Willie, Oba Femi, Lola Vice, all up and coming stars in NXT right now. And then you got the
But
newest NXT signing, this guy. I haven't really seen him before in NXT. You might have because you've been watching it more. It's this Randy Orton. Who's this? Who's this chump?
I heard he like kills stuff. Something in particular.
I bet you he's the guy who used a finisher called the Randall Keith Orton, the RKO.
Oh.
But okay, so to cut the crap, I think it's because their reasoning is it's in his hometown, so it's in St. Louis, so that's neat.
That's
And
my
then
hometown.
oh really? Are you gonna be on the show, Dave?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you and Randy Orton are working a match, brother. That's what's going on.
There we are.
Um, But I know the week prior on October 1st, it's in Chicago. So they're having CM Punk there. So you can kind of just say, it's like you can kind of understand October to be a low point in TV ratings. So you could just say it's not an AEW thing. It's just having them on the show. But, as we get closer, they might have Roman Reigns versus Ethan Page for the NXT title. And, you know, Becky Lynch showing up and Charlotte Flair makes her return on the match. Like you could have Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair is going to be on the show. Like you could have a bunch of crazy stuff on that. Again, the last time they went head to head, Cena was there, Cody Rhodes was there, Paul Heyman was there, Undertaker was there. Like, come
Yeah.
on, you could totally do something stupid.
Yeah. I mean, shit, NXT's been beating Dynamite pretty regularly anyway.
Yeah.
They might not need to
Um,
pull out all the stops.
I think it has something to do with Joe Hendry, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know much about ratings and I wouldn't stake my whole life on it, but Joe Hendry was slash kind of is one of the hottest things in wrestling right now. And so WWE's been pretty smart to keep him on NXT and hold him there. Uh just so they can be like, all right, we're taking you from TNA the moment we can. Um but yeah, it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Uh Do you want to talk about the Lucha Bros possibly leaving real quick? That's the last bit of news. I know that's sad because they're an AEW original, right?
Yeah, for sure they are. AEW Originals. They're let's see, Penta's contract is up before Ray Phoenix. Maybe like a month apart. But yeah, they've trademarked all of their catchphrases or applied to trademark them all. But yeah, the word the internal feeling in WWE is that they're coming over, and same thing in AEW. So I'd be surprised if they were used on TV moving forward.
Well, when's the last time we saw them on TV? I know
Ray
uh,
Phoenix versus
Tony Nese.
Tony Nese.
So that was Collision like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I saw a tweet, so it's not like gospel, but I saw something about how WWE is also very interested in getting Ricky Starks. So,
Hmm.
like, yeah, if they're not using these highly talented individuals, the WWE might. Look at how big Ethan Page was, right? Ethan Page, and no talking down to the man. I liked him, but he wasn't anything big in AEW. But he's already NXT champ, like a month after he showed up, or like 2 months after. What's
Hmm.
Ricky Starks gonna do? What's the Lucha Bros gonna do? Like, please, for the love of God, whatever brand they're on, give them the tag titles immediately and light a fire on the tag team division, because that's something WWE's been lacking on too. Because even though they have two different champions, it's just kind of lame right now. But please, for the love of God, do something. And I think the biggest travesty is they're not really gonna get a send off. Because wouldn't it just make sense? And I don't know when Penta's deal was up, but wouldn't it just make sense maybe to do Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros all in? We were talking about that before, but I feel like that would be a match that people would be really excited to see, because a lot of people are going, even Young Bucks Acclaimed, people weren't excited for, but they're like, whatever, it should be fine. But then it was, I would say we're going to get Young Bucks FTR. And a lot of people don't want that. Like a lot of the people I see are not interested in that. I think the only way you save this is if you do a triple threat tag team match, which is fine, but I don't know. Like who takes these titles off the Bucks?
I don't know, but man, I'm not high on FTR as much as I used to be, man. Like
They're just boring.
they're boring. They're like 80s boring.
Yeah. I think people really liked the throwback and like, oh, they're so committed to the rules of tag team wrestling, but that worked, I would say that worked all the way up until 2021, maybe even 2022. But I think 2023 it kind of got stale, and now in 2024 it's really stale. And so I think what really killed my interest in FTR, because I didn't always really dislike them, but then they would cut the promos were like, Tony Khan's such a great guy, and AEW is the coolest place ever. We need to fight for Tony Khan. And I was like, you guys are bootlickers. I don't think you're badass. I think you kissed Tony Khan's ass.
And every promo, we're badass and we're gonna kick your ass and I love my daughter and I love my family and I love
But don't you
wrestling.
mention my family's name. I'm gonna beat your ass if you mention my daughter. I'm a tough guy out.
Top guys out.
It's the most boring shit.
It's
When
just the
I'm not
same
kidding,
thing.
when FTR get announced for matches, my interest goes down. Like when they were announced for the first, not the first, but the Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing, I cared less about that match. Like I cared way less about it. And then like they're looming over this tag title match at All In, and I'm like, please, for the love of God, no.
Dude, my highest point with FTR was their like hour long 2 out of 3 falls match against Juice Robinson and Jay White on like one of the early
Collision.
collisions. Dude, that was phenomenal. Like
Yeah, I should go
unbelievable.
back and watch that. I'm sure that was a phenomenal match. But
But
what have
then
they done since? Yeah.
yeah, just so boring. They're
I, I
boring.
I hate to say it, there's more to this wrestling shtick than having good matches. You need to be a good character outside of those matches.
I think the best thing that they could have done, honestly, was to join the House of Black back when
Yeah.
that was going on.
I don't know. I liked FTR when they had Daniel Garcia around. That kind of made me feel like, oh, it's like three guys who kind of respect old school, more technical wrestling. That's neat.
Yeah,
Um, and then they just kind of like drifted apart.
yeah. I mean, they're saying Garcia's probably going to WWE too.
I would be surprised at that if I'm being honest with you. And I think
Me too.
that is a goddamn shame. Like Garcia was so over. He was so over. Like, did you see the end of the C2? I remember at the first Dynamite of the year, it was Swerve and Daniel Garcia. And Daniel Garcia was as important as Swerve. Who's Swerve? The guy who's the world champ right now. And I'm not saying Daniel Garcia should have been world champ this year. I'm not that crazy. But maybe he could have won the TNT title or the international title or something. Like, I feel like you didn't even try with Daniel Garcia. You didn't even give him a shot. You just put him on TV a lot, which I mean is fair, but I'll say it a million times. You can't just have someone win squash matches and get over. Like, you,
Not only that, you can't just say you're gonna see a lot of Daniel Garcia in 2024 and like do it for 2 months and then
lose interest for 2 months and then kind of half-heartedly do it again, and then you give him his big match that you've been building for, and he loses it.
yep. Yeah. Anyway, do you want to get into this Dynamite from Winston-Salem, North Carolina?
I guess this
North
Dynamite.
Carolina.
Uh
It
Oh,
wasn't
that
the
reminded
best.
me. I saw some. Okay, this isn't news, but I saw some speculation the other day that made me sad. So it was about Kota Ibushi's return to AEW, right? Like
Him and
potentially.
Kenny, right?
Yeah. So Kota's not coming back until Kenny's coming back, which I'm like, man, I don't want tag team Kenny Omega. How many times do I gotta say this? Like, maybe
I
that's
don't
all
either.
he wants to do, which is fine. But like, for fuck's sake, I know he can't pull out all the bangers he used to have. I know that. I know that. But like, come on, man, stop it. I don't want another Golden Jets. I don't.
Yeah, I don't even like Kota Ibushi, which I say all the time.
I might, yeah, I don't think I've seen it. I've seen one Kota Ibushi match and it stunk, but the whole match sucked. You
Yeah,
know,
the Like a
so
Dragon.
yeah, I hated that entire match. Takeshita was in that match and he couldn't save it. Let alone he did get beaten by Jericho in that match, so I was already a little pissy about that. Uh, and he got beat by like a fire extinguisher, which I think is my least favorite thing in wrestling. Like, at least like thumbtacks and headshots with a chair. You know, I believe those ending matches. I just don't personally like them. I think fire extinguisher is like, oh, you got me. Okay, I'm back. Like, oh, I'm a little disoriented for 5 seconds. Oh, you stopped spraying? Okay, I'm good. Like, I haven't been sprayed by a fire extinguisher, but I'd be willing to prove my point.
Yeah, or maybe we can do that for our prediction punishment.
Ooh, I like that. Anyway, okay, you want to know what my first note is for this Dynamite? And I think it's pretty fitting for how I felt about this Dynamite.
So you do yours and I'll do mine.
So Kyle Fletcher came out and he's got this new name, which is Protostar, which is whatever. I don't hate it. I thought it said prostate. So I was like, prostate? What is Kyle Fletcher doing with my prostate? But oh, it's Protostar. So that, like,
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie, that set up my opinion for the whole Dynamite.
gotcha. My first note was same old MJF starting off Dynamite for the fourth week in a row.
I'm tired. Like, please just have MJF in the
Over
middle.
it.
I'm sure he's a ratings draw. I'm sure he is. I am getting tired of it.
4 weeks in a row.
I'm I'm so tired of this MJF stuff. I might punch my wall.
Oh, I see what you did there. Oh, but yeah, man, we got MJF versus Kyle Fletcher. Love Kyle Fletcher. I think he is Will Ospreay like 3 years ago in
Yeah,
my
he
mind.
is. He did the Aussie, oi, oi, oi. I liked that. But you know what I was thinking? I was like, AEW doesn't need Kyle Fletcher as a solo star. They need Aussie Open as a tag team. For the love of God.
Yes.
I don't know where Mark Davis is in his recovery. I don't think he's there yet. But like, we don't need Kyle Fletcher as a single star. We have so many single star. It's overpacked to the gills right now. How many times are we like, where's this person? Where's this person? Where's this person? And I know we can say that about tag teams too, but like, holy shit, we need a tag team that we can take credibly other than the Bucks and Acclaimed and FTR. You can't have a tag team division of 3 tag teams. That's what WWE did in the 2010s, and that's why everybody hated the tag team division in the 2010s. Because it was New Day, the Usos, and the Bar. And that was it.
Yeah. I mean, God, I'm just so bummed out about the Lucha Brothers and Motor City Machine Guns. Oh,
They
that should have been
still
all
have
in.
they still have good tag teams. They still have Top Flight. They still have Private Party. Like those guys haven't left. Why can't you just use those guys?
Yeah, man. They've dropped the ball on tag teams. But anyway, I digress.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we got MJF kind of getting out of the ring, gets on the mic, demands Fletcher lock up with him like a man or he's walking out. Uh,
Mind
they
me
end up,
game.
yeah, they end up locking up. We get a really nice, good old fashioned body slam, like a spinning body slam from Fletcher to MJF, like that. MJF gives Fletcher a shoulder breaker, trying to weaken the shoulder for the salt of the earth. Fletcher counters a kangaroo kick with a thrust kick. Then we get Fletcher covering after a side slam to MJF. MJF kicks out at 2. Kyle Fletcher moonsaults MJF. He ends up landing on his feet and kind of awkward. Could have been hurt pretty bad. Taz pointed out that could buckle your knees or your ankles pretty easily. Uh, MJF grabs a fan's hat and tosses it into the crowd. The dude looked pissed, like really mad.
Mm.
I was like, man, what if that's like his lucky hat or like, you know what I mean? Like a sentimental thing.
Well, whenever we go to wrestling shows, I always like to dress up in like a suit because I think it's funny, and I wear this hat. If someone threw my hat, I'd be like, "God damn it, give it back!"
Yep. Yep. I
That
hope he
was a
got it back.
gift.
I hope he got it back.
Yeah.
Uh, Fletcher elbow drops MJF and covers, but only gets a 2 count. Uh, oh yeah, Fletcher dives on MJF over the barricade, and he like gets up in the crowd and celebrates. So I thought that was a cool moment. The crowd was he was like really over right there with the crowd.
Yeah, I was shocked that he would get that big of a reception. Maybe
Yeah,
it's just because he's a friend of Will Ospreay, and it's not like he's not talented, right? So he was having a good match, and then you can add in that Ospreay effect, and he's against MJF, and he's in the crowd. So it was a good little swell of support, but I was surprised he got such a reaction.
yeah. Crowd was into it. MJF gives Kyle Fletcher a hammerlock DDT and covers for a 2 count. Then MJF gives Kyle Fletcher a Canadian Destroyer. Fletcher comes back with a lariat and they both fall to the mat. Kyle Fletcher escapes the salt of the earth by rolling over into a pin. Then Fletcher counters a Long Island Sunrise with a pinning predicament for a 2 count. Then Kyle Fletcher hits a tombstone pile driver after trying to hit that puppy for most of the match. Covers, MJF kicks out. Don Callis gets frustrated, walks up to the ring, distracts the ref, throws a screwdriver to Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher picks it up and he's conflicted, decides not to use it. Then MJF gives Fletcher a low blow, then a sheer drop brainbuster for the win. Osprey's door is blocked. In his locker room. He's trying to get out there. He knows something's going to go down with Fletcher. MJF hit the ref with the belt, then hits Fletcher over and over and over with his diamond ring. Fletcher's bleeding. MJF goes to give Fletcher the Tiger Driver 91. And I like how MJF goes, Tiger Driver 91. Like
Mm.
Osprey does it. But Osprey runs out just in time. MJF runs off. Osprey yells to the doctor, and Don Callis blames Will Osprey for not being out there in time, and for Fletcher getting hurt.
If I were
Yeah.
Don Callis, I'd be pretty pissed off right now, if I'm being honest with you. Like, again, here we are sitting on the, oh, I get you want to be noble and have your responsibilities and all that, but it's MJF. Like, come the fuck on. He paralyzed. He paralyzed Daniel Garcia. After this, he beat the fuck out of Kyle Fletcher. Like, someone put him in his place, please, for the love of God. Like, I don't want to see the Tiger Driver ever again, but if Osprey hits one on MJF at Wembley, I'll love it. Because it's like, finally, someone's able, and if he's like, oh, never do it again, bro. Never once in my entire life will I hit another Tiger Driver. Okay, cool, fine, thanks. Just do it. I'm kind of getting sick of this. Oh, I gotta be noble. I gotta be such a good boy. But it's the worst man ever sitting against you in the ring. And then what did MJF do? The second Fletcher threw that screwdriver out, he blowed him. So like, come on, man. Come on. But this match was fine. Um it wasn't bad. I just wasn't entertained by it. Um I'm sure MJF is a ratings draw, and that's why he keeps opening the show. But I feel like the more they show this much of MJF and Osprey and all that, the less interested I am in this feud. And I think that continues on because when they first did it and he had the flag and he redesigned the title, I was like, wow, this is pretty funny. Like, sure, I don't buy Osprey's like, I'm going to bring the international title back, bro. Like, I don't care about the international title, but yeah, that's the logical endpoint of this feud. But the more they do it, the more I'm like, I just don't care. And then we're going to see it in the next match, but it's something I'm really, really starting to hate about AEW. Why did no one come out to stop MJF's beatdown until Osprey got out there? Right? Like, no one else showed up. No refs came out. But with the next match, the second the heel tries to get a little well-justified revenge, oh, the referee from the match is there to immediately stop it. And then there's 80 million referees coming out to stop it. Like, come on. Like, and to give it a little bit of credit, when he was beating up Daniel Garcia, MJF was, he did beat down some security with the chair. So, like, that one, I kind of understood why it took so long. But this one, I'm just getting tired of it.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get into it with the next match, the complete opposite. But yeah, like there's a ref corps like ready to go, and a security team that runs out at certain situations, but not at others. So, uh,
Even even if you could make up some bullshit thing about the EVPs are controlling the refs, and when it's, MJF doing something, they'll allow it. But when it's Tony Storm getting back at her arch rival, they're gonna put an end to it. Like, something.
yeah, a
Like,
little reasoning.
yeah. Shouldn't Tony Khan be sitting back there and being like, holy crap, MJF is killing poor Coil Fletcher. Get him out, get him out. Like, what, right?
Yeah, yep,
So I'm just kind of getting really annoyed at that. And it definitely did hamper my opinion of this match because it's like, oh, you got to have MJF do a big evil beat down that no one comes out to stop. But in the next match, they're going to immediately stop a beat down.
yeah, yep. It's
Remember when he
good.
said no kangaroo kicks? That lasted long.
Yep. I mean, of all people though, to do it to,
It was funny. Oh yeah, I'm just saying, like, isn't it funny how he was like, no kangaroo kicks, and then he hit one? It's just funny.
yeah. No, I missed that in my notes.
Yeah, I liked the ending, like not the Kyle Fletcher nonsense, but I like how MJF ended the match of low blow, kangaroo kick, brainbuster. That was a neat little sequence.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right. Next match, we got uh what is her moniker? Glamorous or
It's
the
the
glam
glamour Mariah May.
the glamour Mariah May versus Viva La Bam?
Viva Vaughn. Viva Van.
Wait a minute. Bam Margera's in rehab.
Uh, uh,
ee- ee- ee-
did you know who
uh,
this was?
no.
So I think they mentioned that she just had the opportunity to go for the CMLL women's title. So I think she was one of the 3 women in the match where Willow won it.
Okay, okay.
So they didn't really talk about it, or I might have missed it, but I'm just gonna assume she is a CMLL wrestler. I wish they, I don't know, mentioned that, and
Yeah,
because you either you run the risk of, oh, it's a jobber or it's someone from CMLL. Wow, I don't know who they are. They're probably really good if they're being scouted from CMLL. Like your brain can kind of like fill that in. But when you just say it's Viva Vaughn and you don't really say anything about her, I'm not even saying a video package. All you have to say is she's from CMLL. Oh, okay, that's cool.
yeah. I didn't even catch that or know that. I do like how Mariah May still carries around the Owen Hart Cup belt. I've never seen any other winner of that tournament carry around the belt after they've won it. So
I
love
hate
that.
to say it. I think it's only because she hit Tony Storm with it, and it's like she carries it around for the same reason she carries the shoe around. But I don't
Yep,
care. I love it that she carries it. I'm on your page too.
love it.
Like if there's anyone else who should also hold it. What about Bryan Danielson, this guy who's all about honor and respecting the past right now? Like, why not? Why not?
Yeah, yep. I think they're really beautiful. I think they're beautiful. Like they're Hart family, like says Hart family all over it. The pink
Mhm.
strap, and yeah, they're just beautiful.
It's a good belt.
Um, yeah. So Mariah May headbutts Viva Van as the bell rings, then gives her a release German suplex. Mariah May missile drop kicks Van as the crowd chants, "We want Tony." Mariah May gives Van a hip attack, then kisses her, then gives her a running knee strike. But Mariah May doesn't cover. She then gives Van a Storm Zero and then gets the win. Somebody hands Mariah May a wrapped gift. It's a picture of Tony Storm embracing Mariah May. And on the back, it says, "Die, Mariah, die," on the back of it. Tony Storm appears wearing her same little disguise. They brawl, the whole ref corps come out, all the security come out. Complete opposite of the MJF situation. Uh,
Yeah. They brawl for like 10 seconds. Tony Storm gets the upper hand because she's stronger, and then she gets the shoe, and like you can like, oh, she's gonna do something bad, but she is also getting her revenge from when Mariah May did that to her, and immediately Aubrey Edwards is in the ring pulling it out of her hand, and I was like, well, that's lame. Like you could at least let her get one, or like get her 1 or 2 good pokes in so that she can start bleeding, and you have that visual of like Mariah May made Tony bleed, now Tony made Mariah bleed, and then you can have all the refs stop it. But come on. I wish I had like recorded how long the MGF beatdown was and how long the Tony Storm beatdown was before anyone came out. But I'm sure it was like 5 minutes to 15 seconds. Like I'm sure that's the difference. So, and then like I hate to be like this, but this was kind of another Mariah May beats a no name and then wins. You know, I'm sure Viva Vaughn has had an illustrious career, and I should do my due diligence in looking her up and what her history is and all that. But I keep saying just give her a no name. Like please, any name. what's Lady Frost up to right now? Is she injured? Like, what about Sheeta? Like, anyone, please just have Mariah May be an established name viciously. It doesn't have to be squashed, but like have it end pretty bad, and that might heat her up a little bit. But is Tony Khan scared? Like, oh, if I run a 10-minute women's match, they're gonna be disinterested. They're not gonna care.
Dude, save the jobbers for ROH and Rampage. Like,
Yeah,
simple.
I don't know. So that like, I'm and I'm trying to be as generous as I can because I'm sure Viva Vaughn is someone established, and I'm just being a little uneducated, I guess, or ignorant maybe. But you also have to do a little bit of a good job of hyping her up so that I might care about the match. Or then again, did the match even matter, or was it all about the ending confrontation? Which I liked the ending confrontation, despite all the referee nonsense. I thought it was a good one. I like how it furthers their story. Like, it's slightly comedic, but it still feels real. But other than that, I'm just a little annoyed. We can't get a good women's match on Dynamite.
I feel like all the like upper and lower mid card women are on Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
Like
because like
Red
Red Velvet's
Velvet, Trisha
there.
Dora, Queen Aminata, uh, the Renegade Twins, uh, Rachel Ellering, like uh, Taya Valkyrie. Like, yeah, they're all on Ring of Honor right now. Like,
Yeah.
oh, but anyway, after that we get a Taco Bell commercial for the seven. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
You know what? It was
Uh,
like the best Taco Bell commercial I've ever seen. I don't know about that crap that started and ended it, but that was a good Taco Bell promo.
it was, man. But really, we get the beginning of a dude. I thought this was Darby Allin talking the whole time. Apparently, it was Jack Perry.
You know, if
uh,
Darby Allin cut a promo like this, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, he has sacrificed a lot." He won the tag team champions with his mentor, and then had a hell of a war with the Young Bucks, and he sacrificed a lot in that match, but he still came out on top with Sting. And then he got injured, which made he had to sacrifice his Mount Everest climb. And then he got hit by a bus, which further prevented him
yeah,
coming back. Like, look at all this guy has gone through in this year alone. Like, I'm not the biggest Darby Allin fan, but that could have been a compelling promo, but it's not.
no, Jack Perry. Uh, watching a bunch of TVs in a dark room. Everything in life has a price, and the question is, how much are you willing to sacrifice for it? Then we cut to Taco Bell $7 Lux Cravings box, only at Taco Bell. Bong.
Looks like that's the price we have to sacrifice, $7. That's not
Then
that
we
bad.
got then we got the vignette back, and Jack Perry's smashing all the TVs with a sledgehammer, and then the last one is says scapegoat.
You know what?
So
I'm gonna say something really mean, but I kind of blame it on AEW making one really bad decision that I still don't think they've really recovered from. To me, Jack Perry is still the guy who got beaten up by CM Punk. And you know why I still think that? Because those idiots showed the footage. And they showed us that. So no matter what badass things you have Jack Perry do in the ring, I still don't care. Because he's still the guy you showed me got beat up by a guy that's not in your company anymore. So I just don't care. Um, don't you dare say what happened at Blood and Guts was a sacrifice. That's just stupidity. Being like, oh, I'll be set on fire not to give you a TNT title shot. Like, that that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why would you risk your career just not to defend your title? It'd be more badass if you were like, yeah, come on, I'll take you. I don't give a shit. That'd be way more badass if you're like, yeah, I got you. But time and time again, he hasn't really shown that he can sacrifice anything. What has he sacrificed?
Nothing.
He got to
Nothing.
main event Double or Nothing when he really like a year ago he wouldn't have, but he did. He got to be put in a I mean, he wasn't put, but he was in a ladder match for a belt where a lot of people wanted a lot of other guys to win, but he just kind of waited till the end, snuck in and won. And then he got saved by the Bucks at Blood and Guts. So, like, what is this man sacrificed?
Nothing. Not a damn thing. Uh, but after that, we get a Darby Allin promo. He says he didn't like Jack Perry, light Jack Perry on fire because he would have used that as an excuse not to show up for their match at Wembley. He says Jack Perry doesn't have to sacrifice any more of his time and he better show up at Wembley. Yeah.
And Darby did
Yeah.
make a good point. Jack Perry's never on Rampage or Collision, right? Like, I know no one's watching those shows, but again, he's like, sacrifice. Who's the one on the show? It's Darby Allin. I know
Like
he's the
on
heat or
all
the
of them.
face, right? So we're probably supposed to feel like this, but I don't feel like, yeah, I want Darby to win. I'm like, I'm annoyed at Jack Perry. Like, I don't want, like, this is becoming go away heat for me. I don't want to see him anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. I just hope Darby Allin wins.
If it's not Darby, just say, here's Takeshita, fresh off the G1 climax. Have at it.
Yep. Yeah. I really want to have it, but Darby's okay too.
I like Darby enough to not be upset. It's just I wouldn't really care about another Darby run. But wouldn't like
Yeah.
isn't Darby tied for the most TNT title reigns? Because it's 3, right? With Wardlow and Darby, or is Darby only at 2?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal, but maybe if it's tied right now and it's Darby and Wardlow's probably not staying around for much longer, I could totally see them being like, Darby Allin's held the TNT title for the most times. So that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
Yeah. No, not at all. But yeah, after that we get Shibata versus Brian Keith. I really like Brian Keith's entrance song and like his entrance. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool to me. Jericho on commentary, and he got Taz kicked out so he doesn't have to sit next to him. Shibata stomps Brian Keith's arm twice. Brian Keith overpowers Shibata through picture. Uh, let's see. Brian Keith headbutts Shibata, then gives him a neck breaker. Shibata gives Brian Keith an iron claw, then a Juji Katami for the win. Uh, Big Bill and Jericho attack Shibata. Shibata gets held up so Jericho can hit him with the FTW title, but Hook's music hits and Hook runs out to save Shibata, and his eye is bandaged. All right, we got Hook back. We getting
I will
Jericho
say
get all in.
probably. I kind of like knew Hook was coming back because they mentioned him about 100 times on commentary, like before Jericho came out. Like, man, it's been a while since we've seen Hook. I would love to see Hook right now. Shibata's all alone right now. He doesn't have Hook standing behind him. So it was like, gee, I wonder if Hook's coming out. But I mean, this match was fine. Shibata looked really good. I liked the ending of this match, like you said. He basically he was in the Rainmaker pros and he spun around, gave him like a nice chop, iron claw, arm bar, boom, match done. I liked it. And then Hook coming back, hopefully he beats Jericho at Wembley. Hopefully. Um, I'm not really keeping my hopes up, but who knows? And then Jericho was insufferable on commentary as always. So
Hmm.
he had one line that I kind of liked. I hated him being like, Did you know I had a 4.0 star rating against Minoru Suzuki from Dave Meltzer? Stop mentioning Meltzer. Like, please, for the love of God, stop it. And I like how the commentators no sold it. They were like, who? So that was that. I like the whatever commentator just was like, who? I liked that. And then I think he said something like, "Wow, you like or commentators were like, you had a maybe it was Big Bill. Like Big Bill was also kind of on commentary, but he was like, you had a really good reaction coming out here. He's like, yeah, you could call it the Warrior Pop or the like
Road
Andrew.
Warriors.
Yeah, he's like, you could call it the Road Warrior Pop. I kind of liked that, but like he gets one of these every single time, and if he says it again, I don't like it. Like he said, that doesn't work for me, brother, once, and it was funny. Then he said it like 10 times, and it wasn't funny because he's just repeating the same joke. Like you get one, so that one was fine.
Gotcha. Oh, Jericho. Yeah. Ugh. I don't have much to say about him. I love Shibata. I like
Yeah,
Brian Keith a lot too. You better respect Chris Jericho. I love that. Like it's good. He just says the
yeah.
same thing over and over, but it's good. Man, Shibata is something special too. I love it, dude. He was taking some fucking knees to the jaw in that match too from Brian Keith, dude. Like,
Yeah, Shibata's badass. Like I'm a full Shibata. Like I remember when he first started showing up, I wasn't a big fan. Now I'm a Shibata. Like I don't know what you call it.
a
Like
Shibata-ite.
Shibata apologist. I think where I'm like, I'm sorry. He's great. I was wrong. Um, the other thing I was gonna say on that, they keep on repeating these jokes and they're not really working the second time. Remember what I said last week where it was like, you Big Bill was like, you've got 102 days. Now 100 days is one thing, but 102, they did it
109.
again. Because they were like, oh, you're 109. I'm like, it's not funny anymore. Because it was funny because it was literally 2 days after 100. But now it's not funny. Stop
Nope,
it.
not at all.
Sorry, Big Bill. I typically like you, but this week, it's just not a good week for the learning tree.
No, 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 no. After that, we get an Orange Cassidy promo with Renee Paquette. He was gonna have a rematch against Roddy, Roosh, and Mortos with Ishii and Mark Briscoe, but travel issues stopped them from making it. He will wrestle anyway, and he found two local boys to team with him. Ooh, I wonder who that is.
I wonder if it has anything to do with our annoyance and more so boredom of a certain tag team right now, but I hope it's not them.
Me too. After that, we get a Hangman Adam Page promo. He says there's been one thing, one man he wanted to take everything from, to leave him with nothing but the ash of his pride. But there have been a dozen or so dumbasses in his way, and justice delayed is justice denied. Uh, he said he will have what he wants. Uh, yeah, I like the dozen or so dumbasses in his way line.
It's crazy. Like, I know this is my opinion, but I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me. It's crazy that the most interesting thing on AEW television right now isn't really on AEW television right now and isn't progressing any story. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Hangman Okada for Wembley. That's cool. But are they doing Okada Claudio at Wembley?
I don't know if that was officially a Wembley match. He's the number one contender though. Yeah.
And they have a face to face next week on Dynamite. So I was like, if if that's what you're doing, if that's what you're doing, I like Claudio and all, but like, please, for the love of God, I'm gonna
Yeah,
strangle you, Tony Khan.
why
That's a
was
joke.
Hangman not in that match and why the fuck did he not win that match?
I don't. I'm just kind of getting annoyed, man. All in was like so easy. It was so easy.
Oh man. Did you hear about the backstage brawl? that happened after Dynamite?
I saw, like, a little clip of it. It was like
Hangman and Jarrett?
well, I saw Tony Storm and Mariah May in it too. Like, it's like
Yeah,
they
they
were
did one.
fighting at the same time as Hangman and Jarrett. Are they doing Hangman and Jarrett at Wembley?
I I'm not against that.
I'm not really for it. Like, I'm not against it either, but that's only because I get to see Hangman wrestle. Like, Hangman could announce he's wrestling a broom, and I could probably still be interested in it right now because I'd be like, "Ooh, what if the broom wins?"
I mean, if you recall, I've booted Ric Flair off my Mount Rushmore and inserted Jeff Jarrett, so I'm kind of all for it.
I'm not against it, but like
If they make
Hangman
it
Okada was
compelling,
right there. It was right there.
they can make it compelling. I've got faith. Good
I
logic, good reasoning,
it could
good
make
heat.
sense. It could make sense with the dozens of dumbasses in his way. You know, Jarrett's one of them. But Okada was one of them too, right?
Yeah, it would be dumb to drop the whole Okada thing.
Maybe okay. Maybe they're putting that out for like all out, right? Because you gotta have. I'm pitching. I'm sticking to this pitch. Like I don't care what anyone says. I'm sticking to this. It's Swerve and Hangman at Wrestle Dream for the title. That makes sense to me. That means Danielson loses. That means Hangman has to do something for 2 pay-per-views before you get there. And I think those things, probably Jarrett at Wembley, probably Okada all out.
Yeah. Yeah, we keep forgetting about All Out. That's like they have to have a badass card for that too.
I think AEW is forgetting about all out right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's a tricky one. I don't think they should be so close together. They should be a good month apart.
Yeah, it's just even with split brands when WWE was doing them like a month or so apart, it was still too soon. So 2 weeks apart and it's one brand. How you gonna do it? Like I know people liked All Out last year, but that was kind of like a surprise, right? Like it was like, ooh, there's some like nice little matches here now, and they've been kind of building. But like that was only a week build. So now you have
Yeah.
2 weeks build. So hopefully they can pull it out the bag. As of right now, I think it's shaky getting to all in or all out. Wait, yeah, it's all in. I get them confused. Sorry. But I think it's shaky getting to all in right now. We're not even there.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, they need a whole nother card. They need to start like announcing something for that like next week.
Why not? Like, I know the Royal Rampage was for Grand Slam, but why couldn't it have been, oh, whoever wins the Royal Rampage gets the title shot at All Out? Then you could at least have a match announced where it's the winner of Swerve and Danielson versus Darby in the main event of All Out. Like, that's something.
Yeah. But yeah.
Dave, it's
Uh
killing me. I think we're on that segment. Who are the local boys?
uh oh, I think we got a Jim Ross sit down with Swerve.
Oh, I didn't write any notes for that. I took nothing. Like I love Swerve. I took nothing away from that segment.
Can we all agree though on a serious note that JR didn't look good?
Just have Renee Paquette do these. Just please. I like JR coming out for the one main event, and it's like only a big main event. I like that a lot. Other than that, I think it's time we let JR retire. He just didn't really seem there. Like he kind of cut off Swerve sometimes. It would kind of interrupt him. Like I just didn't think this was a good segment. At least with Renee Paquette, she's able to like on a charisma level match most of the people she's with. So I don't know. I think it's time we promote Renee a whole lot more than we do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all we really have to say about that. But yeah, Jim Ross sits down with Swerve. Swerve is motivated with every molecule in his body. Jim Ross says Swerve did some controversial things in the past and asks if he has any remorse. Uh, Swerve said, if you knock on the door long enough and they don't let you in, you got to make noise, is why he did what he did. Swerve says the match with Danielson will be physical. Swerve also says Danielson's legacy is on the line, and he needs something to fight for. And without it, who is Danielson? Swerve also says he's in the driver's seat and he controls the narrative and the fate. Swerve doesn't care about Danielson being a parent or a husband and says he will beat Danielson at Wembley and his legacy will belong to him. Uh, yeah, Swerve had some good things, and you're right, JR kind of cut him off a couple times. I didn't like that either. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
and this is pre-taped, so you could have, done another take. Like I know it was supposed to be live, brother, but come on, we all know it was pre-taped. So like just like redo it.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't that good. Uh, we need Renee in that position. But yeah, now we get to that local boy match. Orange
Was it the
Cassidy.
boys? Orange Cassidy and the boys?
No, it was FTR.
Okay, before we get too far into this match, wouldn't it be really funny if Orange Cassidy just like it just introduces just like this and there's the little boys running around? Wouldn't that be funny? Okay,
That
move
would have
on to
been
the match.
that would have been great. But yeah, Roderick Strong, Roosh, and Mortos, they all made it to the damn arena. Um,
Hey, in all fairness, I like all those three of those guys. Like
love them.
I think they're pretty talented. That might be controversial. You can cancel me for this opinion if you want. I think Roderick Strong, Roosh, and the Beast Mortos are talented wrestlers. You can cancel me for that.
uh, my order of favorites, I think at this point, I'm putting Mortos top, then Roosh, then Roddy, personally.
I think I'd agree with that. Just because I like the end of Roderick Strong's matches, but they're a little slow in the beginning. But Roosh is solid all the way out, and Mortos excels all the way out, at least from what little I've seen of him.
Yeah, dude,
And
Mortos.
a lot of the times I've seen him, Mortos loses. So it's
Yeah,
crazy that he can still lose, and I still find him captivating.
yeah, he's got a lot of uh talent for a big dude. He can do some flippy dippy shit that you would never think he could do, like little tiny luchador stuff, tornillos and flip here, flip there, do yeah, it's really good stuff, but he's still like brutally violent and like powerful all at the same time. Oh, love it. So yeah, I don't have a lot of notes. Orange Cassidy gives Mortos a deja vu DDT where he just
That was fun. I liked that. That was neat.
yeah, it was cool. Orange Cassidy gives Roosh a beach break and covers, but Roosh kicks out at two. Mortos does a tornillo on Cash from the ring to the floor. Roosh chops Dax and Cash. Orange Cassidy gives Roosh an orange punch. FTR give Roosh the Shatter Machine for the win.
They
Then
sure
the
did.
acclaim come out bitching about wanting their match, and they all brawl. There's security again, holds them all back. Where were they earlier?
You could I wasn't that mad at this one, mostly just because I wasn't thinking about it, but you could say, oh, it's like four men, and then there's all the other heels and Orange Cassidy involved. So it really could have gotten out of hand if they didn't get to it. So I'm able to like give them the benefit of the doubt on that. But every time I see the Acclaim to call out FTR, I just get scared, man. I just get scared because they're gonna main event some Collision right before Wembley, and it's gonna be the winner gets the title shot, all in, and FTR are gonna win, and I'm gonna cry because I have to watch FTR. And like people are like, "What do you mean FTR Young Bucks is gonna be a great match?" Like I just don't care. I say I don't care. I've seen him wrestle at least twice, and the first time was okay. It wasn't a bad match, but it was okay. And then the second one was a ladder match, which I didn't really care about, honestly. Like I didn't. It wasn't a bad ladder match, but I didn't really get that much out of it. So I'm just not super jazzed about FTR right now. If they do the three-way for the tag titles, I'm more into that. I think it's more interesting, but I don't know. And then
Yeah.
I don't this like typically like last week I really liked this 6-man match where it was the conglomeration versus this Roosh Mortos Roderick team. I liked this match a lot. But you add FTR in, and I find it incredibly boring. Like, I hate to say it, I just find them boring. Um, but Morto still looked good. I liked it when Roosh no sold the orange punch. That made sense because Roosh is just badass. Um, and that was kind of it. It was a match that happened that I watched.
At one point, it happened really fast, but how did Mortos end up on the outside crashing into the Undisputed Kingdom? Didn't that happen?
Yeah, so Orange Cassidy was like Muertos did his tornado to the outside to, I think, one of the FTR guys.
Cash.
Yeah. And then he saw Orange Cassidy. He was kind of beckoning him. And then he did a tornado onto him, but he went over the barricade and hit the UK.
Cool. Cool, cool. Okay. Uh yeah, I like that. But yeah, FTR just kind of stunk it up for me. Uh yeah, it was a popcorn match for sure.
But not a good
That's
one.
no, I
Like,
didn't even write a lot of notes.
yeah.
Let's
Well,
see. Then
aren't
we
you
get up.
excited? You're CEO. 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 I was a little tired of Dynamite at this point.
You're skipping a whole nother thing.
Oh, God. What
Uh,
was it?
the patriarchy promo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, you know what? There might be something interesting on Collision this week, guys.
Yeah, oddly enough, Christian announces House of Black versus the Bang Bang Gang for #1 contendership for the trios title. Next week, the winner will face the patriarchy at Wembley, and Christian will be the special guest referee, taking a little page out of Seth Rollins' book. Is he going to have a ref cam and a bracelet?
That would be funny.
Dude, that'd be
Um,
too funny.
can we just talk about how Shayna Wayne held the belt? Can we
Love
just
it.
appreciate that?
Apparently that happened on Collision. They had a big in-ring segment, and he's like, "Here you go, Shayna. You earned this," and took it off Luchasaurus.
That's funny. That's
It's
funny.
super funny. Yep, 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 yep. Uh, but yeah, that's actually kind of exciting. Like, I guess I could watch Collision and our retro view match.
Let me see. All right, while you talk about the next segment, I'm gonna see if they have. Oh, so they've only announced 2 things for Collision, right? It was that trios match. Do you know what the other one is?
Is it a women's match?
Yeah.
Um, is it Saraya?
No.
Um,
It's Deanna Perrazzo versus Thunder Rosa 5, baby, in a bull rope match. Will
oh
the feud
yeah,
finally end?
is it a strap match
It said
or
bull
no?
rope match.
Oh my gosh, dude, get out of here!
I know I'm poo-pooing it, but that might actually be a good match. But it's like, okay, we got a good match. 5 matches in. Wow. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to really think about that. They've taken this way too long, and it's not
Can
compelling.
can you believe this all started because of one tag team match between Mariah May and Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo on the build to Dynasty in April?
Yeah.
Like, it's August, guys. Couldn't you have wrapped it up beforehand?
Yeah, I'm just uninterested at this point, to be real with you. Uh, Thunder Rosa, like she's back, cool, yeah, but man, she's a mid Carter.
It's like Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo came back at around the same time. Like Thunder Rosa returned and Deonna Purrazzo debuted, and they're like, "Well, cool. We have these women, and we don't want them to lose steam, but they're not going to go for the women's world title right now. What should we do with them? Well, I guess they can feud for 4 months."
Yeah, yeah, and they're doing it. Anyway, after that, we get a little hologram video package, hyping him up for Collision. I'm looking forward to his Dynamite debut. That should be pretty cool.
Oh, hologram will totally be in that Casino Gauntlet match. I didn't even think about him.
Good, yeah, he's great. People are really liking him. Nothing but good things to say. I only saw his debut match, and he's been on every Collision after that, and I kind of stopped watching Collision. Cool. After that, we get a 2-on-1 match. My girl Camille. Woo, love her. She's so much cooler than Mercedes Monet, and all she said was one line during or after this match. Um, yeah, Camille versus two jobbers. Don't care about their names. Forgot what they were. Camille kicks jobber number one and jobber number two. Uh, or she kicks jobber number one. Jobber number two tries to run, but Camille stomps her in the corner. Jobber number one jumps on Camille's back, but she keeps stomping jobber number two anyway. Camille gives jobber number one a torture rack into a sit down power bomb. And then maybe what is this move where she like slammed her down? Is there a name for that move? The other
I
jobber?
just kind of looks like a big slam to me. Like
Yeah,
I
dude.
don't know if it probably has a move, but I don't know. My brain kind of turns off for squash matches because I hate to say it, I don't really find them interesting.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, but if someone's squashing like a name I know, that's like, oh, holy shit, why is this happening? Like, this is crazy. But it's like two local talent at once. I'm like, did you just go to the local wrestling school and pick up some people who have wrestled like 3 matches before? No shit, someone as big as Camille is beating them 2-on-1. Like, yeah. Um, I still say squash matches don't interest me at all, and I don't care how many squash matches someone has. I want to see them in actual matches, beating actual people, so I actually care. But to your credit, Camille did have a good line compared to whatever garble that Mercedes Monet said. And even though Britt Baker isn't suspended, she only appeared via satellite. I thought she had a really good line.
Um, but yeah, Camille ends up getting the win. Mercedes Monet is whining about Britt Baker again. She's suspended. Tony Schiavone shows up and is like, actually, Tony Khan has lifted Britt Baker's suspension and she has something to say via satellite. She talks about Mercedes taking her ball and going home when she doesn't get her way. Ooh.
I liked that. And then she was like, "This is just your flavor of the month, but this is my like home." I really liked that. And again, like I think that like it's one of those lines where it's like that feels real. Like that might be how she actually feels. It might not be, but that's how I feel because this is gonna be like those CM Punk promos where they all aged like milk when he went back to WWE. I think it's gonna be the same thing for Monet in like 2, 3 years. Whenever her contract up and she goes back to WWE, all this shit is gonna age like milk.
Yep. Britt Baker says she will get her hands on Mercedes Moné next week, no matter what it takes. Um, yeah, I read that Britt Baker got cast in the last season of Cobra Kai,
Cool.
which I've never watched. I'm interested in it, but I would have to watch all the Karate Kid movies and then start Cobra Kai. This is the
I
only way I'll do this.
this is gonna be okay. I said a jokey cancel thing, but this might actually get me canceled. I've only seen the first Karate Kid, and I didn't like it. I thought it was too cheesy. Like I like '80s cheese. It was too cheesy. I
It's
could not
so
do it.
perfectly 80s cheesy.
Okay, that's a lie. I also saw the Jaden Smith, Jackie Chan Karate Kid. Don't worry, I didn't like that one either. So it's not like I liked the new one and hated the old one. I just didn't like either of them.
Did you watch the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank?
No, and I'm proud of myself for not watching that. Uh, but man,
But
I need Britt Baker to win this title, man. I need it.
yeah,
I'm like I think this might be the match I'd be the most disappointed in if Britt lost, and I think she will. But I don't
yeah.
know.
I want Brit to win, but I think Mercedes will win.
I'm gonna go. Okay, this I'll give one thing away from our predictions review, unless something changes on the Dynamite on next week. I'm most likely gonna go all in on Britt Baker, most likely, and my only reasoning why I think Jamie Hayter's gonna be a surprise return and level the playing field with Camille, and Monet still has another title, so it's not like she has nothing. This is only for the TBS title. And what have we learned? When a wrestler has multiple titles and they only go for one, they typically lose it. Look at Eddie Kingston, right? Every match he had was like for the triple continental crown or whatever, right? And then he had one match with Okada just for the Continental Championship and lost. And I think that was his first solo defense of the Continental Championship, and he lost it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll see, man. I dude, Monet was a waste of money.
I'm sure she gets some draw.
Yeah, maybe a little.
I
Man, I
would
think
okay.
Camille's gonna overshadow her real soon.
Yes. I would say waste of money for me, but that's because I don't care about her. I don't think she's worth the money. I think someone like Charlotte Flair is worth that money. I think someone like Becky Lynch or Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley. I think all of those women are worth whatever they're getting paid, if not more. Um, and I think the only reason Monet doesn't get re-signed by WWE is if they're like, no, we don't think you're worth it. We don't think you're worth what you're asking for. So either only take $5 million instead of $8 million, right? Oh, boo hoo. What would I like? Or she'll go back to AEW because Tony Khan will be like, okay, $20 million, here you go.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, we've made it to our main event.
It's time for the main event.
Anything goes, baby. Bryan Danielson versus Jeff Jarrett. With Ricky Steamboat on commentary, which was kind of cool. I liked hearing him talk.
He has
He's
a very like calming and soothing voice, so I
yeah,
quite
he
like him on
does.
commentary.
He
Whenever he
does.
piped, it was like whenever like they were doing the action, I was like, oh yeah, this is badass. And then he talked, be like, oh, interesting point, Ricky.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It was really yeah, it was nice to hear him. What do you know? Jeff Jarrett attacks Danielson with a guitar during Danielson's entrance. Jeff Jarrett hits Danielson with a chair on the floor. Double J pummels Danielson in the crowd. Then in the arena concourse, uh, we got trash cans and beer cans and all kinds of stuff. Trash getting used on each other. Jarrett suplexes Danielson on a trash can. Jarrett punches Danielson and he keeps falling onto the fans. That was
Mhm.
freaking cool. He did it like 3 or 4 times, like, boom, and then he'd fall back on him, like, dude, that would, like, be the coolest moment of my life as a
Oh,
fan,
yeah.
to have
I wr
Bryan Danielson fall on me.
I wrote, "Man, these are actually effective lumberjacks. What the hell, man?
Yeah,
They're
they were.
way better than wrestlers."
Yep, yeah, they were. Um, let's see, Danielson suplexes Jarrett on the trash can, a little payback. They make it back to the ring, and Danielson gets the upper hand. Danielson punches Double J on the floor, punishes Double J on the floor. Danielson goes to knee Jeff Jarrett off the apron, but Jeff Jarrett throws a chair at Danielson's knee. That looked like it might have hurt him.
I'm sure that wouldn't feel well, right? I
He
know
was
I said,
limping
"Oh,"
ever since.
I know I said I'll take a fire extinguisher. I'm not taking a chair shot, man. I'm not doing that.
To the kneecap.
No.
Uh,
I
Jeff
wouldn't be able to
Jarrett.
walk for a month.
Yep. Jeff Jarrett puts Danielson's leg in a chair and climbs to the top rope to smash his leg, but Danielson gets up and gives him a spider suplex. I love that. I can't remember. I've seen one of those lately. Was it Danielson? Someone did a spider
Probably.
suplex not that long ago. Jeff Jarrett gets a figure four on Danielson. Danielson slams a chair on Jeff Jarrett's knees to get out of it. I thought that was pretty creative.
Mhm.
Jeff Jarrett gives Danielson the stroke on a chair. Double J gets Danielson in a sharpshooter, but Danielson counters into the label lock, but Jeff Jarrett gets out of it. Danielson gives Jeff Jarrett a Psycho knee with a chair for the win. Jeff Jarrett's like bleeding like out of his ears or something.
Yeah, he was bleeding like crazy.
Like it looked pretty bad, poor guy. Like, God, I love Jeff Jarrett. Huh. Uh, Ricky Steamboat comes out and holds up Danielson and Jeff Jarrett's hand. Then Jeff Jarrett and Danielson hug because all this was, man, was Double J trying to get Danielson prepared for that sneaky swerve, to have him prepared for anything. Uh, which was kind of a cool move, man. I like
Well,
his approach.
was he prepared for Sneaky Swerve to come out that night?
Oh, he did. He interrupts and talks some shit and calls out Wheeler Yuta for a warm up match next week on Dynamite, which I'm kind of
Oh
looking
my god.
forward to.
Did you hear Will Yuta? He's like, "I'm no warm up. Are you ready for this shit?" And I was like, "Wheeler Yuta, you are the warm up, okay?
You are the warm up.
I know you want to be Billy Badass over here, but I still don't take Wheeler Yuta seriously.
No, no, I
He
don't.
still looks like a baby compared to Claudio and John and Bryan. But
Yeah,
back to the match. I quite liked it. I thought it was a fun, like, it's not one of my favorite matches of all time. I probably won't really remember it in a month, but I thought it was a fun warm up for Danielson. I liked your way of looking at it, where Jeff Jarrett was doing all his sneaky Jeff Jarrett bullshit, because I thought that was a little odd. I was like, hasn't Jeff Jarrett been a really good guy lately? Like, why is he doing all this shit like chair shotting and or guitar shot before the match even starts? But you're right, it's because he's preparing him for Swerve, which Swerve's not a heel, but Swerve will do anything to retain his title, especially on such a big stage.
mhm,
Um, but I, like you said, I liked the bit where Jarrett just threw the chair at Bryan Danielson leaping. I love it whenever someone's like, "I'm gonna go for a big jump, yay!" And then someone just like swats him out of the air. Like Gunther does it a lot, where someone will do a big dive and he just chops the hell out of them. It's always entertaining. So Jarrett just throwing the chair at him. When they started going up the stairs, I was like, "Oh, crowd brawling. We've done this like 5 times tonight." But then they went into the concourse, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And then they beat him up on the trash can and they did the suplex on the trash can. I thought that was solid. And then, like you said, with those fans, I thought that was really cool. So all in all, I liked this match, and then I liked Swerve coming out and cutting a little bit of a baby promo. Yeah, um, a good end to a mediocre Dynamite that I would say had a solid 5 minutes of good stuff before the main event.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, this last match and the last Swerve showing up really took a mediocre Dynamite and gave it a couple notches,
Took,
leveled up a little.
took a 4 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10, and it wasn't even
Yeah.
that good of a match. It was just that fun of a match.
Yep. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's all Jeff Jarrett was trying to do, man. He was still the good guy. He did some bad guy shit, but it had a purpose. The whole match had a purpose. He was gonna get him prepared for anything. So yeah,
I liked
loved
having
it.
Ricky Steamboat out there. It's nice that AEW has their own couple of legends that they hoard around, and they get to be like, it's Steamboat. It's fun. But
Yeah.
speaking of old legends, I think we got to
Woo!
talk about, because this was Dynamite number 253. So we got to talk about WCW Monday Nitro 253.
Dynamitro.
Yes, sir. Dynamitro. Okay, first up, this is a title unification match, I suppose. WCW United States Heavyweight title versus the WCW Hardcore title. The new champ, Lance Storm, defeats Big Vito in 3 minutes and 32 seconds. This is a title unification match that lasted 3 minutes and 32 seconds. I get it's a hardcore match, but 3 minutes and 32 seconds. Ooh, okay. This is a tag team match in the next one, right? The Misfits in Action, Lieutenant Loco and Major Guns defeat David Flair and Miss Hancock. How long did this one last, Dave? Now, David Flair, he was a ring general when he was around, so obviously it was a 20-minute brain buster, right?
Minute 50.
Close. 236.
Okay.
Oh, this one's weird. WCW World Tag Team Title 2-on-1 handicap. Chronic versus Jeff Jarrett. No contest. It didn't even
Wow.
end with them beating Jarrett. It just ended in no contest. That one was 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
I want to
This
watch
next
that.
this next one, okay, so it says not eligible for the match guide, unknown match length. So we don't even know how long this match is. But apparently, the Great Muta took on Vampiro, and it went to a no contest.
Okay.
No idea how long that lasted. Oh, okay. WCW World Heavyweight Title match. Somebody beat Booker T in 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Who do you think it was? It wasn't anyone we've talked about on the
It
show.
was Scott Steiner,
Nope.
Kevin Nash. Vince Russo.
It was Goldberg.
Oh my God.
So Goldberg defeated Booker T in 3 minutes and 30 seconds and took the title. Then there was a singles match. Mike Awesome defeats the franchise in 5 minutes and 18 seconds. Obviously, that one had to go longer. Then we have a caged heat 4-way tag team match. I don't even know what that means. But it was the Misfits in Action, Corporal Cajun, and General Erection defeat the Filthy Animals of Juventud Guerrera and Rey Mysterio Jr., and Mark Jindrak and Sean O'Hare, and the Perfect Event, which was Chuck Palumbo and Sean Stasiak. This match actually went 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Isn't that crazy?
What? Do you
A
remember
near
Chuck Palumbo, what current AEW star he teamed with?
No, who did he team with?
Billy and Chucky.
Oh yeah, Billy and Chuck. They were gay, and that was. I never watched that, but I'm sure that was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna. All right, I'm gonna do this the flip. I told you. Okay, somebody in the WCW World Heavyweight Title match. Somebody defeated Goldberg in 2 minutes and 29 seconds for that belt. Who was it?
I think you already told me, right?
Oh, who?
Booker T?
Yeah. Why would you have Goldberg win it if you're just gonna put it back on Booker T that night?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, Booker T is a five-time. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
All right, so that
Oh,
was Nitro number 2.
wow.
I like how this Dynamite was mediocre, and where I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, that was like an all-timer Dynamite.
That's crazy. WCW, man. Whew. I miss it so much. God, I miss it. They're thinking about bringing it back, WCW.
Are they? I heard them trying to get WWF back.
Oh, really? I did not
That one
hear
would be
that.
tricky, but
Yeah, World Wildlife Federation.
if they got the WWF back, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, they're thinking about doing like Tuesday night or Wednesday night Dynamite or Wednesday night Nitro on Netflix. I heard.
Interesting. Would that be 4 brands?
Yeah.
That would be too much.
So
Cuz
how will this affect Peacock? Will you get to watch Raw on Peacock?
I don't think you can watch Raw on Peacock now.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, you can?
I thought
Um,
so.
well, it would kind of be like what happened with the WWE Network, where WWE Network you can watch all the Raws and SmackDowns and Nitros and blah blah blah. Now you had to go to Peacock to watch all that. So I'm sure you'll just have to go to Netflix to watch all that. But it also kind of depends because I think the UK are getting everything, and the US are only getting like Raw and pay per views. PLE is my bad, but I think that's how it's shaking up.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, I don't know, man. So, so you're saying PLEs won't be on Peacock anymore?
I don't think so. I'm gonna look this up.
Well, while you're doing that, everyone out there, don't forget to leave us a comment about anything. Dynamite, Raw, WWE, NXT, and don't forget to elbow drop that like button, power the bomb that subscribe button, and let us know what you think. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yes. I know I'm distracted right now, but I 100% agree. I love everything you have to say about us. Even if it's negative, I appreciate it. Because, without constructive criticism, how can we grow and become better? Right? So if you have any constructive criticism for us, leave it in the comments down below. So the story that I'm seeing on why am I on India? It took me to an why is the first it said the Economic Times, so I was like, oh, that's important. But then it was the Economic Times / India Times.
Nope.
Okay, here we go. Starting January 2025, Netflix will be the new home of Raw in the US, Canada, UK, and Latin America, among other territories, with additional countries and regions to be added over time. As part of the agreement, will also become the home for all WWE shows and specials. So that's probably premium live event because this is just saying Raw. Outside the US as available, inclusive of Raw and WWE's other weekly shows. So this is SmackDown, NXT, and the company's premium live events. So outside of the US, they're getting everything. In the US, it's only Raw. So I'm assuming it'd be on Peacock.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. Good to know. I don't have to I mean, I have Netflix anyway, but I barely watch anything on it.
Oh, I don't have Netflix. It's so expensive, and I don't like ads, so I refuse to watch it with ads, even though I know it's only like $8.
They keep raising the price. I think I'm grandfathered into the plan I have, so I don't want to get rid of it. Even though
Yeah.
the last thing I watched was that '90s show.
Oh, wow, that's
There were
long time
well,
ago.
there were new episodes that just came out, so
Oh, okay.
season 2. So, yeah, man. Okay, good to know. Not that I would ever in my life watch a Raw. Like I cannot bring myself to do it. Like a
Clip
three
that.
hour long.
He's gonna watch a Raw someday. Clip that.
Like they're three
Uh,
hours, right?
oh, 3 hours is way too long. It's awful.
It's like a pay-per-view, man. Every week. Ugh.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need to do something about that because 3 hours is way too long. 2 hours is nice. Like it on bad shows, it does kind of have a lull, but most shows, at least for Dynamite, they kind of just smooth by. Collision
The,
used to be kind of hard to watch, but that's just because it's Collision.
the chances of me watching a SmackDown are much greater than me ever watching a Raw.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because it has the big dog Roman Reigns and your favorite wrestler of all time, Cody Rhodes.
And it's only 2 hours long.
Well, that's beside the point.
uh cool, man. Well, uh you got anything else to add? Ready to wrap
Check us
her
out.
up?
Check us out for our retro view coming about Tuesday, probably. We'll be reviewing Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania 18. And then
Hmm.
after that, just in terms of our like Tuesday upload, it should be our all-in predictions, right? Or is that one more week out?
I want to get them earlier the better.
I think I like doing it. We record it the Monday before All In, so I think that's either one more retro view or two more retro views, and then we'll have 2 weeks of All In. So it'll be the prediction and then the review, and then we'll be back to retro views, and then obviously the Dynamite one's not going to change. So check that out next week. Hopefully it's a good show. Oh yeah, I always like to look at what are they doing next week? They're
And
really
and the
announcing.
reason why they didn't announce a whole lot for Dynamite was because of the travel issues. That's why barely anything was announced last week.
All it is Okada and Claudio face to face. And then it'll
Damn.
most likely be Swerve and Yuta. I don't know why there's no graphic for that. They'll probably announce that on Collision. But literally right now, all they have is Okada, Claudio face to face.
I would imagine we'll actually get Britt Baker in the building.
God, I hope so. Because she's the only interesting part of this feud that's good. Except for Camille. But Camille hasn't done anything to Britt lately. Because Britt's been suspended. So,
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Look forward, everyone, to our retro view. Hulk Hogan brother and The Rock. Oh, can't wait. That's my favorite match of all time so far in my life. It's better than any WCW match I've ever seen. Better than any AEW match I've ever seen.
yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
It's just like so much like drama just from the match and like emotion and like the crowd just hijacked the whole thing and oh yeah, but you'll see.
Speaking of Dave Meltzer sucking, do you know he only gave it like 3 stars or something like that?
Because he's an idiot.
Yeah, like come on, man. Hulk Hogan wasn't gonna do a tope con suicida, but like, couldn't give it 4. Come on.
Dude. Oh, anyway, can't wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we'll have Sauce back. Good old Chad. All those travel issues got him hung up. So yeah. But yeah, if that does it for the show, Chandler, I think I might do the thing.
Do that thing. Do that thing.
Bye.
Peace and bye bye.